Okay, so Alex, what do we know about the nature of Sean Williams' injuries?
Well, unfortunately, we're still just trying to piece this whole thing together, gathering as much information as possible from the U.S. Marshals. They're the only ones who can actually release this type of information. I called the jail itself, spoke to the jail administrator, the captain. They're not budging. Really, this has to come from the U.S. Marshals. So they have given us a few details, one of which is that he sustained what they're calling a puncture-type wound. I'm not entirely sure what that means, if that's, akin to a stabbing, but that's what they're calling it. They say that the administrators were able to rush into that jail cell. They were able to stabilize him and take him to a hospital. He wasn't in there for very long, released just this afternoon. He's back in jail now. And as for the actual weapon that he used on himself, that much is not clear. The U.S. Marshals say they're still investigating.
So he is a slippery little fella. This is what, escape attempt number, 3, allegedly?
Yeah, that's right. The first one happened earlier this year. It was an attempted escape. It wasn't very successful. He was able to be apprehended outside that Washington County detention facility. The second one, Ashley, is the one that we all remember, right? That was the big chase beginning in October. As you mentioned, about 34 days later, 700 miles south from where he originally escaped, he was apprehended in just outside of Tampa, Florida. In that case, he actually kicked out the window of his transport van and fled on foot. And he made it a heck of a long way before getting caught.
34 days. I mean, that was something else. He was captured in Pinellas County, the amazing 7-Eleven employee who said, I recognize that guy, right. And he called him in and they caught him. And then it was a bit of an aggressive arrest. Obviously, the dogs were involved, K9, and so he got a bit banged up. So he has been, you mentioned it, he's been in U.S. Marshal custody all this time. I didn't realize that. I thought that the U.S. Marshals were part of the arrest, the capture, and then he went into the appropriate jurisdiction. But he's actually been with the U.S. Marshals ever since that Pinellas County capture.
Right, and I think that's for a number of reasons. The first one being what you just mentioned, that interstate escape in which he had to be corralled and captured and brought back into custody. But then on top of that, he's also a prominent figure in 2 different federal civil cases accusing the Johnson City Police Department in Johnson City, Tennessee, of actually covering up some of his sex crimes. Those are trials that haven't even happened yet, that are still under investigation. Johnson City PD and Johnson City itself have denied those claims. But even still, there's multiple trials and multiple cases that surround Sean Williams right now.
So the Marshals don't like this kind of thing. They pride themselves on being pretty good at what they do, and they do not like it when inmates try to escape. Are we hearing much about sort of this notion of what they think of this particular inmate?
Yeah, it's hasn't slipped the minds of the U.S. Marshals that this is a problematic detainee, a defendant that really is quite slippery, in your own words. Back when he first escaped, David Jolly, that's the U.S. Marshal in Eastern Tennessee, said that prison transport escape was so rare that it actually required quite a bit of skill to evade capture for 34 days. But now back to today and what we're seeing now, Jolly believes that this is just another case of him just trying to slip out of the punishment that he might face. He released this statement to us saying, "Williams is a cunning and very dangerous individual who has attempted to escape from transport officers, and now attempted suicide, all to avoid facing his charges." So in his eyes, yes, indeed, this is just another attempt to escape. If he wasn't under intense scrutiny before, you better believe he is going to be now. Jolly says he's going to be under significant guard presence while he awaits those hearings, one of which is tomorrow, and then, of course, a trial later on.
So the tomorrow thing, being arraigned for the October escape, I'm interested in that, but I'm also really interested in the lawyer trying to get off the case. What do we know about that?
Yeah, this would be the second lawyer that would try to get out of representing Sean Williams. Obviously, He's got a lot of baggage with him, a very difficult case to have to handle. So that is something that's going to be heard tomorrow in front of a judge, not to mention some of the other child pornography crimes that he's accused of. That hearing is scheduled in front of a judge tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Obviously, if he tried to be in the hospital at that point, it didn't work. He's out. He's stabilized. He's going to be in court tomorrow.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.